I used to be pretty hopeful, thinking that my beautiful franchise would someday get the love and attention it deserved.
I'm in love with you.
I'm now an old man, looking back wondering where it all went wrong. Hey everyone, it's me, Betweensardine, and welcome to the game Mirror's Edge Catalyst. The game that desperately needed anyone else to develop it, because EA did not give it the love that it needed. Originally, I made a really energetic script, until I sort of realized that this game is just sad. So come along with me as we explore the gloomy high-rises and tight wall-runnable corridors of Mirror's Edge Catalyst. The story starts off with the protagonist Faith getting let out of prison on good behavior. If you've played the previous Mirror's Edge game and are confused on how we got here, then that's okay. Go read an entire webcomic before playing the game so you can understand half of the stuff that's happening. However, moving on, we get reacquainted with all these characters that I'm sure Mirror's Edge fans were very familiar with, and get sent on our first run, i.e. this game's way of saying mission. It is here that we accidentally encounter the final big bad of the entire game, Gabriel Kruger, and get into a fight with his daughter, because Faith thought it was a great idea to steal the random hard drive that some guy just lost his life trying to save. Fucking genius. Prior to this, there'd been a lot of tensions between the bad guys, the corporations, and the runners. So by us taking this hard drive, it's essentially triggered an all-out war between the two, which is an amazing thing to do the second you get out of prison, but I digress. So Faith moves on to see that almost all the runners have been captured or killed by the corpo scum, and subsequently joins up with a fucking terrorist organization because she and the only other runner left, Icarus, need a place to hide. There is other runners out there, but they aren't important to the plot, and for the most part runners are now an extinct species bar Faith and Icarus. Before all this, Faith had taken the mystery hard drive to some autist named Plastic and had it analyzed to be, and I'm not making this up, a nanobot blueprint that regulates and controls your emotions, that everyone in the fictional city of Glass will be forced to take. Puzzy Muzz, a mind control vaccine that is going to give the corporations control over everyone. Wonderful. So that's bad, and we need to obviously go stop Gabriel Krug, but along the way we do some extracurriculars involving genuine murderous terrorism, getting grooms and fucking collectibles, until we discover a few bits of info through Plastic's hacking. So basically this woman is Faith's sister that Gabriel Krug kidnapped and raised as his own daughter after gunning down Faith and Kat's parents in a protest. I swear to God, everyone in this game has some bluehead pronoun Discord name. And another thing that we learn is that the boss of the runners is still alive and stuck in Andrew Tate's real world program, so we need to break him out.
Next time your girlfriend says, let's go movies! No!
No movies!
I'm locked in! I'm in the
Trenches, I'm getting rich.
So we go to break him out.
Stand by me.
and enjoy the fruits of my labor.
So we go to break him out, but only for him to die at the last second because, of course. However, all is not lost as we get to meet woman who Mary Sues her way through an entire top secret prison and guides us through the final level, where we try and spark a Reddit debate with Gabriel Krug about the ethics of eugenics in r/atheism on Reddit. Just off script for a second, the story in this game is really not one to write home about. It's a lot of made up shit that the writers really want you to believe in, but is never consistent throughout the game. I've played through this game at least 4 times now, and to actually enjoy it, you really need to just switch your brain off and not be thinking about the plot. Don't immerse yourself in the plot, immerse yourself in the gameplay, and you'll start enjoying this game a lot more. Just don't immerse yourself in fucking collectibles. They suck. The final level is something else for sure, and we'll get to that. However, I'd like to focus on the core gameplay of Mirror's Edge and what makes it a 4 times replayable game in my eyes, and a game that was certainly worth the $3.99 great Australian dollars that I purchased it for on Steam. Firstly, the movement. This is a 10 out of 10 straight perfection. It does the thing that Dying Light did, where as you start off, your movements are sloppy and slow, but build up as you become more skilled. There's also a large skill tree for movement and combat, which, especially in movement, I found that you could easily incorporate every single move into play by being skilled enough, which meant that once you can start stringing together 10 different movement types into a tight-knit combat time trial, you get the same level of amazing pleasure that I do when a single person joins my Discord server. With a game like this, there's always going to be a hard balance that the game needs to strike between movement and environment. Without a good environment, the movement suffers, and without a good movement, the environment suffers. Luckily, Mirror's Edge Catalyst has an amazing environment that feels almost Metroidvania-y in nature because of the mag. The mag is a grappling hook that you get given fairly early on in the game, but straight away the devs put it to great use, instantly letting you bulldoze through a giant over-the-top fan with no ground area. Now, the reason I'm harping on so much about the mag is that it does something that a lot of very good games do, which is saying, you need X thing to open X door. And so, as you leave dejected to go progress the game in some other way, you'll have X door linger in the back of your mind, until suddenly, out of nowhere, X thing just pops up in front of you, and it triggers a stupid amount of dopamine, even more so than my morning coffee does. You used to be special! Where I find Mirror's Edge to be unique is that it pulls this same trick off twice with just the one item. What the mag upgrade that you get later on lets you do is pull up ledges and buildings. All this goes to show is that there is a great potential for this franchise, like imagine 3 items instead of just the one mag. We're in a futuristic world for Christ's sake, so why not add some futuristic bullshit that makes the game more fun? How about repulsion shoes that let you jump further and higher, with an upgrade that lets you backflip off a wall to reach new hidden areas or crevices? What about a weapon? I never liked that Faith only used her magic kung fu that gives her steel bones so her hands and legs never break, while kicking exclusively metal objects. But what about some light medium blade that you can use to deflect projectiles back at the enemy, with an upgrade that gives you a slash and dash type ability to increase momentum? It's not hard to see how fun a sequel to this game can be. Would you like some tea? And I think that this next section is, if you're not already sold on this game, then you definitely will be. This is the final level, the Catalyst. I have no fucking idea if it's called that. The level begins with the plot that Faith needs to go stop Gabriel Krug from unleashing the real world eugenics virus on the real world. And so Faith needs to take a train or some shit. The miracle of public transport. And now Faith stares down the gigantic building, but it's not a traditional building, it's a beast. You start by just taking the elevator. Absolutely genius ploy from Faith there. Then, when that stops working, we climb Gabriel's big shaft. Then we get, and I shit you not, to the first piece of natural greenery in the entire game, which is absolutely stunning the first time you see it. One thing that I'd like to note about this game is that it's fucking beautiful. Then the building explodes for some reason that I don't understand, and we get to traverse a giant skyscraper as it falls apart, which is cool as fuck. 9/11 type beat. Also, Faith does this. Imagine if she just fell. Then more climbing and a bit of hacking, as one does. Then we see him and get forced to kite 2 whole enemies, and that's the final boss. Not Cat or Gabriel. Absolutely genius. Then the game ends. No, don't! So, why do I like this level so much? Well, like the mag, it also does something that only good video games do, which is give you a crazy gauntlet for a final level and make it test you on everything that it's taught you up until this point. From the climbing bit to the tight corridor part, to the puzzle problem solving, to the combat, which kinda sucks, but you get what I'm trying to say. The best games will always have a level like this, never abandoning the features that it teaches you in the game. And it's always absolute cinema to go through one of these levels. For reference, think of the Virgil fight in any DMC, any Spark Games final level, Sonic 3 and Knickers,
Disgusting black creature,
and GTA 5.
Did you make a good video?
Which all have absolute cinema final levels, where the game throws everything and the kitchen sink at you in a big gauntlet. And that was Mirror's Edge Catalyst. I absolutely love this game. I probably won't be playing it for a 5th time. I think it's time to say goodbye, as EA has definitely done so a long time ago. Rest in peace, my beloved franchise. I won't forget you. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you couldn't tell, I got sick halfway through recording, so that's why I sound like a like a ghoul, a cadaver. If you enjoyed, press the buttons. Alright, goodbye. And just for funsies, if you're wondering why the video has like 5 minutes left, it's because I really did make an entire different video at the start and then scrap it. So I'm just gonna put it at the end of this video, cause why not? It's me, Betweensardine, and welcome to Mirror's Edge Catalyst, the game that needs anyone else to develop, because oh my god, why the fuck did it abandon the Mirror's Edge franchise? Are they stupid? I have a long history with the Mirror's Edge franchise, and it really puts me in pain to see how they massacred my boy. Regardless of that, how can I complain if you don't know what a mirror edging is? Enter Faith Connors, someone who is in jail for no reason. Oh, sorry guys, there's an entire fucking webcomic that you need to read to understand the story. I feel like an English teacher marking off bits of EA's game with a red marker.
Ordering with the pointer finger.
Anyways, after Faith gets released from prison and meets up with the worst person known to man, Icarus, and does a GTA police chase until Faith gets 3 stars and can't escape the LSPD helicopters that just spawned. Returning home and meeting up with the best character, Noah, who's essentially just Runner's CEO, with a runner being someone who delivers messages and packages atop rooftops of a highly corporatized and surveillanced world. There's even cameras around the map that start a police chase if you stand in front of them for too long. It's like the dystopian thing in Watch Dogs Legion, but 50 times worse. So Faith gets sent on a meaningless side mission to introduce the Ubisoft tower climbing, pigeon catching bullshit that I do not care about because it's lazy game design. And Faith gets sent to catch up with a friend that doesn't reappear at all outside of his side quest. Guys, I just realized I can lie about this game. So Faith gets sent on a run, basically just fancy emo terms for a mission, and she ends up randomly running into the final big bad of the entire game and someone from the mysterious shadow organization that appears later in the game. So Faith decides, yeah, I should steal this random hard drive someone just lost their life trying to steal, and trigger all of the tensions between the runners and the corporations. That's a fucking good idea. One shitty GTA chase later, we realize that Faith is trying to pay off her debt with this groomer. But still, she could have done this just by doing like 100 runs and paid it off normally without having to start a full-on war. But I digress. But whatever. So this hard drive gets taken to some terminally online autist who lets Faith and Noah know that it's a blueprint for a fucking mind-control nanomachine that everyone in Glass, the city we're in, will be forced to get so the corporations can control everything. I swear, everything in this story is coming out of one schizo's highly caffeinated late-night rant on Reddit, just so you can get a feel for how ass the story is. Look at this. What the fuck? Like, bro, we just met these guys and now they're all dead. Whatever. The game doesn't care, so why should I? This is where we end up getting revenge on the helicopter, by the way. So Faith and Icarus are now homeless and jobless, so they go meet with the organization leader of that guy who died to get Gabriel Kruger's crypto wallet. So the plan now is to kidnap his fucking daughter and execute her as an example. The leader of Black November, where we are staying, is quite the extraordinaire compared to the runners. So reasonably, the best course of action for this giant shit show plan is to break into a construction site with a massive fucking counterweight and drop it inside the building, no doubt killing at least 100 people. No, but we pulled the fire alarm. My brother in Christ, look at this building. Sorry, that was actually a mission from the groomer. Actually, I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Bro, the matter of the fact is that Faith is getting multiple manslaughter charges.